Is there a link between happiness and Alzheimer's disease? It turns out there is. Let me explain. Many studies have shown that things that make you less happy also increase your risk for Alzheimer's disease by shrinking your brain, and specifically the part of your brain for memory that's called hippocampus. Remember, you have a part of your brain called hippocampus, the size of your thumb, one on the right, one on the left. This part of the brain shrinks with Alzheimer's disease, but this same part of the brain shrinks when you have depression, stress, and insomnia. And these things are linear. So if you have had depression for 1 year, your brain shrinks a little bit. But if you have had untreated depression for 5 or 10 years, your hippocampus will be smaller and smaller and smaller. Now, the other thing that's really toxic to your brain is this stress hormone called cortisol. Too much stress causes too much cortisol, and that causes too much shrinkage in your hippocampus. So I tell you, stress is really bad for your brain. If something bad happens and you get stressed out, ask yourself, is it worth your brain or not? Poor sleep, which also makes people unhappy, contributes to brain shrinkage as well. If you have had insomnia, which means sleeping fewer than 6 hours a night for 2 years, your hippocampus shrinks a little bit. But if you've had insomnia for 10 or 20 years, your hippocampus would be much, much smaller. It turns out that when you're sleeping, your brain goes through a cleansing process, and some of the amyloid, which is the Alzheimer's protein, gets cleared out. When you don't sleep enough, that amyloid builds up and contributes to Alzheimer's disease. So by not sleeping, you literally are contributing to developing Alzheimer's disease yourself. So what's the solution? You need to make yourself and your happiness a top priority. You need to ask yourself every morning, what can I do today to have a happy day today? What are the things that I can do to enjoy my day today? Don't worry about tomorrow, 6 months, or 10 years from now. So for me, for example, I enjoy waking up and doing some exercise in our basement. I enjoy coming to work and interact with our staff and wonderful patients. I enjoy going home, having fun with my wife and kids. I enjoy talking to my friends over the phone or do brain games with my wife at night. It turns out that things that increase your brain fitness, things like reducing stress, improving sleep, and improving your mood, literally grow your brain. So when you exercise more, the part of your brain for memory, the hippocampus, gets bigger and bigger. Almost it's like growing your biceps. So you need to focus on the good things that I'll be talking about and reduce work, reduce tension with family and friends. Remember, the quality of your life depends on the quality of relationship you have with people around you. So if people around you are happy, you will be happy and you will have a lower risk for Alzheimer's disease. Many studies have shown that interventions that are associated with a happier life reduce your risk for Alzheimer's disease. And the next question is, when should you start to change your lifestyle and focus on yourself and your happiness? I think the best time to start is midlife. Ideally, you should start as a child, but midlife is a good time to rethink how you have your daily routine. And remember that the things that you do that make you happier on a daily basis in your 30s, 40s, and 50s will help you have a sharper brain in your 80s and 90s. So go there, have fun.